Hello, my name is Paul Briggs. I'm a former senior fire officer, and over the years I have attended a number of incidents and fires in care homes. The training film you're about to watch will give you some practical understanding and support to deal with an emergency, and in particular a fire situation in your care home. The presentation will cover the evacuation of care homes and the use of evacuation aids. Zones are areas where fire detectors are grouped together. This allows you to identify the location of the fire. If the fire detector activates, you need to investigate which fire detector has activated and operated in that zone. Located close to the fire panel is a zone plan. When the fire alarm system sounds, a light will indicate on the panel indicating which zone is involved in fire. That should then be confirmed against the zone plan which is adjacent or in the same area as the fire panel. The zones will be split into many areas, and as you can see from the zone plan, there are different cross-corridor fire doors throughout the building. Once identified and when a fire is confirmed, you will need to commence with evacuation in that area. You should always ensure you have two-door protection. If we assume that the fire is in this bedroom, this door is a 30-minute fire door. If we close the door, that gives us 30-minute protection immediately. We then evacuate into the corridor and we come to the cross-corridor fire doors. Again, these are a 30-minute fire door. If we then proceed through the doors and shut the doors behind us, we now have 60-minute fire protection. This is known as two-door protection. Now let's look at the procedures to follow in the event of the fire alarm sounding. When the fire alarm sounds, all staff, apart from those providing care or manning the final fire exits, should attend the main fire panel. The person in charge must assume control and must remain calm and behave in a controlled manner. Check the fire alarm panel to establish which fire detector has activated and compare this against the zone plan. Deploy at least 2 colleagues to the affected zone to confirm the location of the fire or the alarm. Also remind the colleagues to report back as soon as possible with their findings.
All clear. Fire detected room 11, report it to a senior. Right.
If more than one zone is activated on the fire alarm panel, you must designate other staff to go and investigate the additional activation of the fire alarm system. You should also then consider sending a further 2 colleagues to investigate and get them to report back as soon as possible. If there is no fire, smoke or smell of burning in the area where the fire alarm shows the detector or manual call point has been activated, silence the alarm and recheck the affected area or zone with the colleagues that initially checked this area. The fire alarm must only be silenced on confirmation that there is no fire, or on the instruction of the incident commander who is on site at the time. If for some reason you are unable to reset the fire alarm system, you should call the property help desk. If a fire is confirmed, send all available staff to the affected area to assist with the evacuation. The person in charge should meet the fire and rescue service at the entrance of the building and provide them with information that they require. The fire service will immediately need to know the location of fire, any persons that are not accounted for, and any hazards in the building that may cause harm to firefighters, such as oxygen. The following information will also be required during the emergency by the fire and rescue service: a copy of the emergency evacuation template for the care home, a copy of the PEEPS summary, residents who still require evacuation, including those with special needs and sensory impairment, the location of residents who have been evacuated, the duty roster and signing in book, any keys or methods of access that may be required for the fire and rescue service. At this point, the fire service will direct operations and will also advise on any further evacuation that needs to be undertaken. They will also require the person in charge to remain with them so they can seek the required information and support necessary. The evacuation aids are only to be used when all other ways of moving the residents are not possible, such as wheelchairs, Zimmer frames and commodes. Residents should be assured and informed what is happening to them at all times. If the time allows, you can adjust the bed to the right height or even reposition the bed. However, the priority in the emergency is to get the resident onto the evacuation mat and commence with the evacuation procedure. In the event of an emergency evacuation, some residents may need to be moved using the red evac mats. Collect the evacuation mat from the storage area. The safe operation of the mat requires 2 colleagues. You should carry the mat to the bedroom, opening the room door in readiness for the escape.
We need to evacuate, so we're going to need to put you into this mat. Is that okay?
Remove any top bedding, ensuring it does not become a trip hazard. While supporting the resident's head, remove any pillows and keep them close at hand for later use. Using the base sheet, you should wrap the resident, ensuring that their arms are kept at the side of their body. Roll the resident onto their side in the sheet and ensure that they are fully supported. Release the Velcro strap from the hold-all and the evac mat will unfold. Unfold the mat and place it behind the resident. Ensure that the black buckles are underneath the mat and close to the resident. If time allows and power is available, adjust the bed to a comfortable working height. Gently roll the resident back onto the mat and position centrally. Place the feet into the pocket and cover with the bedding. Place a pillow under the head and a spare pillow, if available, across the chest. The bed position in the room will dictate the method by which you are able to transfer the resident from the bed onto the floor and out of the room using the evacuation mat. On this occasion, if the bed is against the wall, then both team members will be positioned on the same side. In each case, the team member at the head end keeps the straps short and starts to move backwards or sideways, allowing the mat to touch the floor. The team member at the foot end follows the direction of travel, holding on to the handle and controlling the descent of the mat to the floor. Once the mat is on the floor, it is preferable that both handlers are at the head end. This allows the head to be protected for the resident when negotiating obstacles such as fire doors and other objects that could be in the corridors. It also allows for quicker speed of movement when evacuating the building. Once a resident is in the corridor, the handlers should determine the safest route to follow, applying the 2-door principle. If we assume that the fire is in this bedroom, this door is a 30-minute fire door. If we close the door, that gives us 30-minute protection immediately. We then evacuate into the corridor and we come to the cross-corridor fire doors. Again, these are a 30-minute fire door. If we then proceed through the doors and shut the doors behind us, we now have 60-minute fire protection. This is known as 2-door protection. If there is no alternative, this staircase procedure must be followed. It is vital that the resident is presented at the top of the staircase with the feet first. With one team member at each end of the mat, the resident can now be securely moved down the stairs. It is important that the team member at the foot end keeps the pulling straps short until the upper part of the resident's body has come over the top of the step. This helps to prevent any excess bending of the resident's hip and pelvic area. The team member at the head end should keep the pulling straps long and assist by slightly raising the strap as the body comes over the top step. When reaching the half landing, it is important to steer a wide course. This is so you don't encounter problems with the central pillar of the staircase. If needed, the crush straps can be used to position the mat on the half landing. The team member at the foot end controls the speed of descent, so good communication is essential to ensure the team members at the head does not overbalance in an attempt to keep pace with the person at the lower end. Once a resident has exited the building and reached a point of safety, the crush straps can be loosened to ensure the resident is kept comfortable. If the evac mat is to be reused, then residents will need to be transferred to other available equipment such as wheelchairs, stretchers and chairs.